Hi, how are you? Oh God, it's been a long time, Paris, since I've had the courage to make another video. I don't know when the last one was, but today is Christmas. It's the 25th of December, 2012, and I have a little story, basically. Um, the plan was to just get myself into a situation whereby I can approach your mum again. And then around July, August, I sent a message to my friend Luigi, who your mother doesn't particularly like, but she doesn't have anything bad to say about him. So I contacted him because he lives in Glasgow. And I said to him that, can he approach your mum? And he says he probably would because he's a very good friend of mine. And I kind of reminded him in October, and then I wanted to remind him again around November, December, and you won't believe it, out of the blue, your mum phoned me, and she says, well, I must admit, I think I phoned her about twice as well, so she probably would have seen my number, but I didn't leave a message, neither did I speak, so I guess she phoned and we had a lengthy conversation, and basically it was all about me kind of begging her that, look, it's Christmas, regardless of the past, let it go. It's been nearly 9 years since we've been together. All this money you say I owe you, £7,000 for the money you spent on me during the relationship of 7 years. I'm like, okay, forget about all that. Move on. You should be happy. I've moved on. I'm happily married. Got Ebenezer. I've got happiness. I've got Shagun. Got Shui. So, have you moved on? And it's all about Paris. I want to send her a Christmas present. I want to say she's coming up to her 10-year birthday. I'm interested in doing something. I'd like to go on holiday with her. I'd like to build a relationship. I know the best way to your mom's heart is money. So I said to her, I says, look, this is my salary. I get £1,300 after tax. I wish I can find my payslip and show it to you. Let me see. I might. Well, there you go. Managed to find one. This is my last pay slip. Don't know if you can see it. There. Anyway, I get £1,300 after tax. And I said to your mum that, look, I'm willing to give £100 a month, and that she should open a child's account for you, and the money can go in there, and how she spends it is her own business. So she says she'll think about it, and she says she's never done something like that before. I'm surprised you don't have your own account number, because Ebenezer and Happiness, they have their own accounts in Nigeria, and anybody that gives them money, that's where it goes, and they can ask for it when they're older. So I'm waiting for her to get back. But in the process of the 3 weeks, I've been begging her to send me a picture of you. So initially she sent 3 of herself. I sent some of mine. And then yesterday, I think Christmas Eve, she sent me 1 picture. And she says, here's the picture, fuck off. I know your mom's hurting. Because when 2 people truly love each other, there's bound to be hurts. But women, I guess you're a woman, you're going to grow up to be a woman. I guess they think differently to guys, because I have other children now. I have Ebenezer, Happiness, and I have yourself. And I'm committed to all of you, not just yourself. So for me, I can't afford to be bitter, and I can't afford to be upset. And I can't afford to be wallowing it and hanging on to the past. I need to move on because I've got children to raise, I've got children to make happy. In my past videos, I've said I didn't really have a childhood because I wasn't planned. My parents didn't, they don't, how do you say it? I don't think they thought of, they didn't plan their children. They just did what normal human beings do, which is to have children and, whereas me, all my children were planned, every single one of them, including yourself. Do you know what I mean? So, I know that part of my purpose is to make sure that you do have happy childhoods. But your mother has assured me that you are having a happy childhood. But when I look at your pictures, I looked behind the eyes and I kind of felt a tinge of sadness because, like, which child wouldn't want to be with their dad? Do you know what I mean? And your mother, she's just such a control freak. She just has to control every aspect of your life. But I am so looking forward to when you're 16 and I don't actually have to go through her. So, then I can just speak to you directly because by then, I know you have a mobile phone now, but you're 10, you won't understand things, so at this point in time, I have to go through your mother. I have to keep her happy. The last 3 weeks have been a nightmare because we've basically been insulting each other via text. She'll tell me to fuck off and call me a bastard and a faggot and all the things that I got up to in Kelvin Grove Park, and she'll just go on about my friendship with Ken, and she'll be slagging off Cassandra, and she'll call my mother a bitch, and she'll just be saying all the things that you wouldn't expect somebody over 40 to be saying. And I tend to counteract by reminding her about the past, about her child, her firstborn that she gave up. I remind her about her husband. I remind her about her foster parents. So at the end of the day, she's in a way I am insulting her because I'm reminding her about her past, that she can't be waving her hand up as if she's a saint, because she ain't a saint. And she's saying like she's only had 3 men in her life, and I've reeled off about 6. So yeah, she is insulting me, and at the end of the day, she's not really insulting me because like she's calling all these people names, and some of them actually deserve what they get because of what the past that they've played in her life. So, but for me, I still have to defend them because that's what you do. You don't let somebody come around and start slagging somebody off behind their back. For me, that means you have no bottle, because at the end of the day, all these people she was slagging off, she was told not to deal with them. But, she's headstrong, independent, doing her own thing. So she got what she deserved as far as I'm concerned. So she can't expect me to then, you get what you deserve because you played that game. Then you come back and say, oh, yeah, Philip, you need to defend me. And I do actually defend her. I do say to all these people that they played a really rotten part in the love story of me and your mum, but anyway, so for the last 3 weeks, it's just been a tirade of insults, but I know exactly what I'm doing, and exactly what I'm doing is I'm just putting the past to rest in my head and trying to move on, because we're going into a new year, 2013. You're going to be 10. I know that the way to your mom's heart is through money. The way to most women's heart is through money. So the best thing is to just constantly remind her that I'm willing to put £100 in her account or your account, and to just pacify her, not insult her, not bring up the past. And she is I call her the gatekeeper at the moment, because she is the gatekeeper. She's the one that's going to open the gate where I can get to see you or speak to you or do anything, and she's the one that's going to close it. She keeps on saying she's going to take me to court. I'd love it. If she takes me to court, would be one of the best moves ever, because then I would actually get what I deserve, which is some sort of visitation rights, because like at the end of the day, it's funny, because I took her to court when you were 7 and we did get to see each other a little bit. And she's now turned that around and says, oh, I took her to court. And as a result, she's now on DHSS. She's only getting 16, she's only allowed to work 16 hours a week. And she gets her rent paid for her. And there's barely any money to live on. But she manages to buy you the latest designer shoes, the latest designer clothes. She says to me, for Christmas, you're getting a BlackBerry notebook or a BlackBerry iPad or BlackBerry something, and you already have a BlackBerry phone and this. You're only 10, Paris. You should be going to Disneyland in Paris, Disneyland in Atlanta. You should be going to the aquariums. You know, you should be, oh God, you should be going on holiday maybe twice a week, twice a year, once over the summer, you know, and a little weekend break over Christmas. You know, I don't know whether all these things are happening, you know, but, you know, she's giving you her love of material wealth, which, oh God, is going to be a nightmare for me when you grow up, because you'll be so used to all these things that God knows how she's making the money to pay for it. Do you know what I mean? For somebody that says, oh, I'm only working 16 hours, you do your arithmetic and come up with the sums, because, you know, I work 35 hours with a bit of overtime and I'm getting 1,300 and I can't barely pay the rent, let alone, you know, send money home to Nigeria and do this. I don't have a car. I live in a cheap place, £250 a month, you know, and I try my best to cut my coat according to my size. You know, all this, I do still travel, but just on a budget. Yeah, I mean, you don't need mega bucks to travel. You book your ticket in advance, you can get it cheap. If you get that, I very rarely eat a lot anyway. I can survive on water and bread. You know, but I'm curious. I have a curious nature to see how other people worship God, and other tribes, and how did I exist, and, you know, other customs and other attires. You know, I just have a curious nature about me, you know, and I can't wait for you to be older so we can travel together. Be like, come on, Paris, off we go. Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm planning, like, for Happiness. She's going to be 5 next year, and I'm thinking she will go to boarding school in Nigeria, but I'm going to bring her over to just for a holiday to the United Kingdom and buy some clothes and shoes and all the things that she needs to start school, and then take her back. You know, so I'm not selfish in my traveling. You know, once my children are older, they can come with me. In fact, while they're younger as well, I'm going to plan family holidays. You know, but Paris, I am looking forward to you being 16, because I think even if your mum shines on me and I get to see you again, I still would always have to toe her line. But I won't toe that line after you're 16. I'll just tell her to fuck off as well, you know, because I don't say things like that to her at the moment. I keep those kind of languages to myself. And she says I really hate her. Don't hate her, I'm just disappointed. You know, because, like, at the end of the day, you go on and on and on that you love somebody. So if you love somebody, why punish them by not letting them see their daughter? You know, so anyway, that is life. But for the record, this last year, I think I've said it in one of my videos, I do regret not standing up and protecting your mom and being the man that I should have been. But I had issues, you know, and you'll ask me what those issues are, and I'll tell you, you know. But in hindsight, how do you say it? I do miss her. You know, she was the love of my life. I am currently married and happy. But, you know, sometimes, you know, my current wife, I'm 20 odd years older than her. You know, you always look for, when you want to